Hey everyone, welcome back to the Glass Seats podcast. This is our show where two hockey aficionados discuss their perspectives on headlines surrounding the NHL, including recent stories, game highlights, league culture, and other topics trending amongst the fans. This is Viddy.
My name is Mrinal, and this week in hockey, it finally happened.
Santa's real?
Yeah.
All right, that was a good episode.
His name is Erik Karlsson.
Yep, finally happened. Remember the episode we did a couple weeks ago where you were like, Erik Karlsson still hasn't been traded?
Yep. That was what, like 3 weeks ago now?
Something
4 weeks ago?
That. Yeah, something like that.
And to be honest, I didn't think it would happen this offseason.
I didn't either. I thought it was going to happen at the start of the season or in between. Maybe.
I thought it'd be trade deadline, to be honest. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was like, there's was like no traction for like 2 weeks. We didn't hear anything. And then all of a sudden, Pittsburgh makes a move.
Kyle Dubas, masterclass.
Yeah. So a lot to kind of break down in this trade if you guys haven't heard the story. So why don't I start with just the basic trade details?
Yeah.
Then we can start getting into like, some of the opinions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it's a 3-team trade. I think technically Pittsburgh and Montreal made a trade, and then Pittsburgh and San Jose made a trade, but it was like back to back. So I'm just going to call it a 3-team trade.
Sure, yeah.
So out of this, San Jose gets a 2024 first-round pick, which is Pittsburgh's. This pick is top 10 protected. So that means if Pittsburgh's pick is in the top 10 in 2024, San Jose instead gets their 2025 first-round pick.
They learned from the Karlsson deal.
Yeah, exactly. Then we get Mikhail Granlund, a forward, Jan Ruda, defenseman, and Mike Hoffman, San Jose Sharks legend, returns as a forward. We are laughing because last time he was in San Jose, he lasted 2 hours before getting traded to Florida.
Yeah, go look that one up. He still got a tribute from the fans.
Yeah. So this is longest tenured of his career in San Jose.
Yes.
Montreal ended up getting a 2025 second-round pick from Pittsburgh. Jeff Petrie, defenseman. Casey DeSmith, a goalie. And Nathan Legare, a forward. Pittsburgh gets Erik Karlsson, which is the big piece in the trade. Rem Pitlick, a forward. Dylan Hamiluk, a forward. And a 2026 third-round pick from San Jose. In addition, San Jose retained $1.5 million of Karlsson's contract, meaning Pittsburgh is paying him the remaining $10 million.
Yes.
So that was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Initial thoughts?
So I would say let's break this down between the 3 teams. The first one, Pittsburgh. And obviously good for them. They acquired a big piece. It was between them or Carolina.
Yeah, and I think Carolina backed out at some point.
Yeah, I think so. And, Kyle Dubas masterclass, as we had said. But I think it's great that they have acquired him. Let's see how it works with Chris Letang. I don't know how he's going to fit in with the whole puzzle piece, whatever. And they unloaded a couple of players that weren't really working out for them.
These were cap dumps, let's be real.
Yeah. So Pittsburgh fans have, on paper, they absolutely won this trade. Not saying there was any losers or anything, but they won this trade. That being said, I do think they have to win. That's obvious. Crosby's aging, Malkin's aging. That's obvious. But I personally I think they should stop here. I don't think they should be buyers at, the deadline or anything. And the reason I say that is because it reminds me, this almost borderline reminds me of like an aging super team kind of strategy. And look how that worked for the Rangers this past season. Yeah.
It's a risk.
Yeah.
But I would say it's less of a risk because Pittsburgh's core has already won 3 cups.
Yes.
So if they don't manage to do it, I feel like it's not as devastating.
Yeah. The Rangers haven't won since 94, I think.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a risk.
And it was like Lundqvist's last chance.
Yeah.
Sorry. Lundqvist never got a cup, I meant.
Yeah.
And then a couple of seasons ago, they tried to go for it. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of what Pittsburgh can do at the deadline, right now they have no cap space.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might get some based off injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So they could do it, but it really kind of feels like this is their team for the year, right?
Yeah.
I don't, even if they do deadline things, it'll probably just be depth pieces.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I don't see them acquiring bigger pieces, and I don't think there's a point in doing it because how many superstar names can you add to your roster where it's actually going to work out? Vegas didn't need it. And I don't remember the last time a super team, other than maybe Tampa, like won it.
Like we talked about this a couple episodes ago, right? Like what you need is one elite forward, one elite defenseman, one elite goalie.
Yeah.
Doubling up, the only position I feel like it really makes sense to double up is forward, or if you have one center, one winger.
Yeah.
More than one elite position at though we haven't really seen work in the NHL, right?
Yeah.
Like you would say Tampa because they had Hedman and like McDonough, but at that point in his career, was McDonough really like the elite defenseman anymore?
Hedman was the guy, honestly. So.
Yeah, and I guess they had Stamkos in point, but like Stamkos was battling injuries, a lot of it too.
I think for the cup runs at least the first one, the 2020. I don't even know if Stamkos actually played in the playoffs that season, but
he did. Right? Wasn't that the one where he was injured? He came out during the final, scored a goal.
Oh yes, yeah. You're right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, just to get his name on the cup. At least he scored though. But yeah, I think Point was the guy for especially the 2020 playoff cup run. And like they kind of, it seems like everyone on that Tampa super team in quotes knew the role, and so that's why. How do you think this is going to work out with the Karlsson-Letang duo?
It's giving me Burns Karlsson vibes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
So I don't know. Yeah. I'd be questioning it.
Yeah.
Like, who runs the power play?
Both? Like, can you have both? I mean, does Karlsson play as forward?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you're not knocking Chris Letang, who's been there forever, off the top power play, right?
No.
And if you're putting Erik Karlsson on the second power play, you're not really utilizing him as much as you can.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know. We'll see. But, I don't really know how this is going to work out.
Let me take the question a step out.
Yes.
Based on the roster you see in front of you, is this a cup contender? If you have to think that hard, the answer is no.
The only reason I'm somewhat doubting it, or I want to say no, but the only reason I'm somewhat doubting myself is because it's Pittsburgh.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Pittsburgh, just not saying that.
Yeah, but the question isn't, are they going to win a cup? Because we just saw Florida. We saw St. Louis do it.
That is true.
It's the question of, do you consider them in that contender realm?
Yes, absolutely. Do I think they're making the playoffs? Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think they have what it takes to make the East final?
Yes, I think so.
That means you're going through Toronto. You're going through New York.
Yeah.
You're going through New Jersey.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, just because Pittsburgh has that experience and that it was really going to help them. And even when you had the super team Sharks, I guess, if you want, again, another quote, in 2019, they at least made it to the West Finals.
True.
And they, you know what I mean? Like they didn't win, but like they did go far. Do I think they're going to win a cup? I have no idea. I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they could. I'm just looking I'm at their cap friendly page. Mm-hmm. A lot of these ages start with 3, man.
Yeah, but
it's making me nervous.
Yeah, but it's Crosby and Malkin. I'm not going to, I don't know.
But that's like, I mean, Crosby gets an injury.
You know what? That is a good point. Some of these players are phenomenal, but injury prone.
Yeah, I feel like they could win a cup, but they need everything to go their way.
Yes.
Because they've spent their money.
Yeah.
Unless someone ends up on LTIR, they don't really have any cap room to do anything.
Yeah. I mean, so this feels almost like they gambled for Karlsson, and now they're gambling the rest of the season that everything stays like somewhat okay,
Yeah.
So like I do think we'll see how it goes ultimately, but like I do think there's a lot that can go wrong and jeopardize a cup run, a playoff run. I'm confident they'll make the playoffs. I don't know where in the position, but I think they'll make it. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to immediately say that this is a slam dunk for the finals or whatever.
Yeah, the thing that gives me the most pause is their goaltending, right?
Yeah,
it's a tandem. They traded Casey DeSmith, to Montreal. So it's Tristan Jarry and Alex Nedeljkovic.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we discussed a couple podcasts ago. They're all in on Tristan Jarry. So
true.
I
guess they made that decision already. Right?
Yeah,
so there's no point hashing that out again.
Yeah, but, I mean, whether that actually succeeds for them or not, we'll see. But I don't know.
The other big thing for them is Jake Yensel's on LTIR. after surgery.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did see that. Oh man, because all of the fans were like, he waited this long to get surgery.
I mean, I think it was to do this cap maneuvering because when you go in LTR, your cap hit doesn't count, right?
So they were really just trying to acquire somebody.
Yeah. Also, I find it really funny that Dubas just got here and he's already doing cap shenanigans like he was doing in Toronto.
Yeah, Dubas is a wizard. So whatever success the team, I don't know. This almost feels like how Doug Wilson was, for the most part, a wizard, fleecing teams left and right. And the failure is hard to blame on him, except for maybe the tail end. But
yeah, the last 2 to 3 years were rough.
Yeah, that was all.
But
Doug Wilson,
his wizardry, Doug Wilson's thing was always getting players to sign for less.
Yes,
and just somehow getting players out of thin air.
Yeah,
right? Out of trades or things like that.
Yeah, impossible trades almost. Yeah.
But Dubas, I feel like, has this thing I have this cap room, I'm going to use all of it, but he doesn't leave himself any buffer for injuries or needing to acquire something if something doesn't work out mid-season. Toronto had this problem for 2 years. Now Pittsburgh's going to have this problem. Toronto still has this problem now that he's gone.
Yeah.
And Brad Treliving's going to have a hell of a time with that.
Yeah. He's definitely not a wizard.
Yeah.
Not the way Dubas is.
So I feel like it's Dubas is GMing with one hand tied behind his back, right?
Yeah.
If he doesn't give himself the cap flexibility.
Yeah. I mean, so do you think this is more of a he needs to impress immediately type of deal? Like he's here and now he needs to make a name for himself?
I think he had to go for it this year, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't come in and tell Crosby, hey, we're rebuilding. Right?
Yeah.
That's just not going to
also,
fly.
I don't think they almost made the playoffs. Florida squeaked by him and ran with it. But
so I think what happened is they ended up paying more for Karlsson than they wanted, which I think we should give props to Mike Greer for.
Yes, let's talk about the Montreal and San Jose sides of the trade as well.
Let's start with San Jose.
Sure.
Because basically they got nothing except that first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only benefit they got was not having to retain more than $2 million on Karlsson.
Which, as a very biased Sharks fan, I'll take it because we're not going to be good for at least 3 more years anyway. So
yeah,
I mean, let's also mention that it is a conditional first. So top 10
But you
protected.
get a first anyway, right?
Yes.
It's either 24 or 25.
Yes.
So you're getting a first round pick.
Yeah.
And I think the 25 draft is supposed to be better than the 24 draft. So if you're rooting for the Sharks, the best situation would be for Pittsburgh to suck this year. The pick becomes top 10. Then we get the unprotected pick next year and Pittsburgh sucks again. That would be the best situation.
Right. But that's a lot of what ifs.
And you're counting on Pittsburgh to suck for 2 years in a row. Good luck.
Yeah. I don't see it happening. Yeah. Yeah. So I think, San Jose didn't get much, and they have, the Granlund contract, the Hoffman contract.
It's all cap dumps.
I feel like a lot of them will be flipped to the deadline, to be totally honest, if not earlier.
I mean, it depends on how good they are. They were absolutely terrible in Pittsburgh, these players.
Right. So maybe they just need a change in scenery.
Or they're just done.
Yeah.
And they're just here to ride it out, right?
Yeah. Who knows?
But what this did was all of the contracts that they acquired, none of them go past the next 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Karlsson's went back on for 4.
Yeah.
So which means in 2025 and 2026, the Sharks basically just earned $10 million in cap space.
Yeah.
Which is right around the time you're expecting
the Vlasic stuff to
build on, right? So, like we said, the gauge is the Vlasic contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his ends in 2025. The 2025-2026 season is the last one.
Mm-hmm.
So right when Vlasic is ending, you suddenly get $10 million cap relief.
Plus Vlasic's contract is done.
Yeah, so Vlasic's ends the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And if you buy out Vlasic a year early...
That's true. Can they? Because they bought out Jones too, right?
Yeah, let me see their buyouts.
They're limited to 2 or 3 buyouts? I don't remember.
I forgot the limit is, but they have 2 on the books right now, but 1 ends after this year.
Is that the Kane contract? Or
It's Rudolph Balcers.
Oh.
I don't know why they bought him out. It's for less than $1 million. But
okay. Fair enough, yeah. All right, well.
It's only for this season.
Yeah, so this seems more like sure, we didn't get much at the time, but we'll take the gamble. We'll dispose of the contract while it's still hot. He just won a Norris. Karlsson just won a Norris.
We said this, right? You have to do it now.
Yeah.
He's never going to have more trade value.
Yeah, basically. And, 2026 could be a big offseason for San Jose. Sure, it's in a couple of years, but it's not just we're free now. It's a big offseason. There's a big, availability now.
And that's around the time you probably expect some of these prospects to start coming in. Like we're expecting Eklund to play this year, but I would assume 2 years, 3 years in, he's going to be getting into that elite range, right?
Yeah.
So
maybe you'll attract some big names too.
Yeah, basically because we have so much cap space now.
Yeah.
It's like any big name, suddenly we can afford them.
I don't know if I want a huge name like Matthews coming to San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because I think a lot of players that are in the 8 to 9 mil range is a lot more effective than a player who's commanding 13 mil.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's just a lot of money on one player, honestly. Like having a 6 million player and a 7 million player, two of those, versus one 13 million player just makes more sense.
So you're saying you'd rather have Draisaitl than McDavid?
Okay, well, McDavid is
the one that breaks all rules.
Yeah,
right?
McDavid is like, you hand him a blank check and tell him to fill it out, like, sign it, fill it out, whatever. Yeah, and you pay it. Like, it's hard to blame any of the lack of playoff success on McDavid.
Oh yeah,
so
absolute gamer.
Yeah, I mean, like, the dude has done what he can. Let's also talk about the Montreal side too much. There's not too much going on.
Yeah.
But the biggest issue for me is, sure, they got Petrie and they dumped Hoffman. Was Hoffman on Pittsburgh?
No, Hoffman was on Montreal.
Okay, yeah. So Montreal got Petrie and dumped Hoffman. Which seemed like it might work out for them. They are themselves, rebuilding. The thing I'm worried about is their goalie situation with DeSmith and Allen, I think it is.
Yeah.
So
they also picked off Sam Montembeault off waivers. So
yeah,
right
I'm not
now,
too sure.
DeSmith and Allen are not goalies of the future, right?
No.
DeSmith's 31, Allen's 33.
Yeah, and they're both not, they're not Carey Price. No one's Carey Price.
I mean, no one's Carey Price, right? But if you need to start building somewhere, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Sam Montembeault, maybe. But yeah, I'm thinking Montreal is also a couple years out from any serious contention.
Yeah. I was looking at the 21 squad that went to the finals. It's like there's no players that remain, I don't think. Maybe one or two, but the whole team feels like it's more or less gutted.
Petrie's back, so
like, sure. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, Petrie's back, so I guess my claim is invalid, but still, you can't. I don't know if Petrie's the guy you build a cup winning team around. So
nope.
So yeah, San Jose and Montreal, I think the trade worked out for them in terms of building a future.
Yeah,
and Pittsburgh, it will work out for them, assuming a lot of factors go and land in their favor.
We're waiting for Pittsburgh to implode, and it's a matter of how long does it take to implode. If it takes them. If they don't implode this season and next season, I think they've won the trade.
I mean, I think a cup is required to make this not seem like it. Like, if they don't win a cup, they're going to implode anyways, I think.
I won't put the standard that high. I'd say a conference final is required. Appearance.
Yeah, but what good does that do?
I mean, I think you won the trade. After that, it wouldn't have mattered if you traded for Karlsson or not.
Oh,
right?
I see. Okay.
At that point, that's just...
You tried and failed, unfortunately. Okay, yeah. I see.
That's, we've seen it every year. It comes down to what the players do on the day.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
If you're judging Dubas's job, if they make an Eastern Conference final in either the next 2 seasons, I think you can't put the blame on Dubas.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with that one. Yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts on the Karlsson trade.
Yeah.
You got anything else or?
No, but there are a few other signings. It's been a while since we've done one of these normal episodes.
Yeah.
So we can talk about a few of them. Some I just want to mention right off the top. Tom Wilson signs an extension in Washington for 7 years at $6.5 million cap hit.
Thought he could get more.
Yeah, that seems like a deal.
Yeah. I thought he would get like 7.5, 8 maybe.
Yeah.
But
that seems like a deal, but good for them.
Yeah. Especially for 7 years with the cap going up.
Yeah. Sebastian Aho also signed an extension in Carolina. Monster. 8 years at $9.75 million. That's a monster extension.
Worth it though, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he does play like a 10 million player most nights. And kid's young. I mean, he is the future of the Hurricanes.
That's a team I didn't even mention that Pittsburgh has to go through is Carolina.
Yeah. Oh shoot, you're right.
We could have Karlsson versus Burns.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I might be watching a lot more Pittsburgh games this year.
Yeah, honestly, I might be just watching the Eastern Conference in general. Like maybe let's see, wake up early, watch those weekend morning games or something.
Oh yeah, the 9 a.m. games.
Yeah, I might have to do that more often.
Yeah.
But the two biggest free agent signings, not really big, but interesting free agent signings. We have Vladimir Tarasenko signing in Ottawa and Martin Jones signing in Toronto. Thoughts?
I'm laughing. Who keeps signing Martin Jones?
I mean,
also in Toronto with what cap space?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of going with the whole if we don't acknowledge it, it doesn't exist problem or solution.
The cap isn't real.
Yeah,
this is not the cap you're looking for.
Basically. So they have a lot of work to do before the season starts. Or they have a lot of LTIR to use. Let's see how it goes. But to say they're in cap hell is an understatement, I think. And I don't know why Martin Jones. Sure, the contract's not big. It's only $875,000.
Yeah,
not even a mil.
He's there to be a backup, right?
Yes, and he knows that. But why Toronto? I mean, I guess Martin Jones went to Toronto because I don't know if he got.
I don't know what other offers he got.
Yeah, essentially.
So, I'm not blaming Jones. I mean, go for it.
Yeah, good job on Jones. But like, why did Toronto do this? I'm not.
Is he
sure.
there to play in the AHL? Maybe.
Is that why?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's a 2-way contract or not. To be completely honest, I didn't look it up.
Check that real quick. I mean, okay, so I just pulled up his contract. So yeah, $875 million.
Thousand.
Sorry, 875,000.
Jeff Bezos money.
Yeah. 875,000, and even if it's not a 2-way, that you can bury that. He'd have to go through waivers probably, but
it's only 1 year too.
I don't think anyone's claiming him.
Yeah. So speaking of 1 year deals, the one I found a little bit more interesting was Tarasenko, after being unsigned for so long, signing in Ottawa for only 1 year, but a $5 million cap hit.
This is deadline bait, right?
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Why else? Like, would they do this? Like, I mean, this feels like the John Klingberg signing in Anaheim. I think it was.
Yeah, but it feels odd in Ottawa, right? Like, isn't Ottawa building toward playoffs?
I mean, they got DeBrincat. Oh wait, no.
No, they lost.
They lost DeBrincat. Maybe that is why they.
Maybe they're not going for playoffs this year.
Yeah, I mean, so they have Giroux. They have, Tim Sousa and like a lot of good
Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah, a lot of good younger players. I don't know. I feel like Ottawa could be a dark horse with a signing, but I do think it ultimately is trade bait.
Yeah, I guess
coming out of this.
Come trade deadline, if they're in a good spot, they'll keep him.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Like, for all we know, this is like he has a monster season. I just thought, how old is Tarasenko? He's definitely north of 30.
Tarasenko is 31.
Yeah, so I thought he would be looking for a little bit more stable.
I think he wanted it. He just couldn't get it. Right? He fired his 2 agents.
2?
Yeah, one like last year and one during this process.
I thought you meant like this offseason.
In like a short amount of time, he's fired 2 agents.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, they might not be working too well with him. So, yeah, this might be all he got.
And like, I think contenders just don't have the cap room, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I could see him going somewhere like maybe Edmonton if they have the cap room come trade deadline.
Yeah.
Like,
but $5 million?
I mean, then at that point you get Ottawa to retain or whatever, right?
That's true. Yeah.
And you'll accrue cap space through the season.
Yeah.
So, I could see it. I think, it very much seems like.
So, do you think Ottawa with this signing is kind of trying to go for a big potential out of Tarasenko, let him like kind of shine for a little bit, raise his value, then get the most they can for the rebuild?
You want him to shine anyway, right? Because either you're trading him at the deadline if you're not in a good spot, or you're keeping him if you're in a good spot. And either way it works out. I also just saw Tarasenko has a no trade clause
for the full season.
Yeah.
Then
so he can pick where he goes, basically.
Okay.
Because he would have to waive the clause.
Right. Okay.
I think that's what he wanted. He wanted choice, right? I guess. So in the case that
so he wanted
Ottawa,
choice, or did he want a long-term deal? I'm trying to understand. Like,
I think his first option was he wanted a long-term deal. Second option is he wanted choice.
So he got choice.
So yeah. So because now, let's say Ottawa's good, they can't just dump him to a rebuilder because he has a no trade clause.
That's true.
Not that they would
true.
want to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I do see potential with this. For all I know, this could be. What was it? A Jeff Skinner situation where he went to Buffalo and just blew up in one season, then got that huge contract. He got traded from Carolina to
He
Buffalo.
got Carolina to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Had a great season, got a massive contract, and then kind of settled down.
Yeah. So, I mean, granted, Tarasenko's contract season was last season, technically. He got what he could get, essentially. And I don't know.
It might be next year because when the cap goes up, maybe someone has room for Tarasenko, but he's not getting any younger.
Yeah. That's... You would think, and I mean, I'm pretty sure he has, wife and kid and everything. So you would think players at that age are also looking for longer contracts just for stability purposes, right?
Yeah, I think that's what he was saying, right? He wanted to be in one place.
Yeah.
But, I guess the deal just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like for Klingberg last offseason, right?
Yeah.
It just wasn't there.
Do you think that Tarasenko could possibly get flipped to a place like Vegas and just suddenly shine?
Oh, I mean, who goes to Vegas and doesn't shine?
Right. That's what I mean. Or do you think they're going to try to fleece Vegas or something out of this? Or these are all potentials, of course.
It just really matters on what Ottawa's season looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not in an easy division.
No.
Well, with Patrice Bergeron retiring, maybe an easier division.
Yeah.
But still, there's Toronto, there's Tampa, there's Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So to get into a playoff spot, I think will take a long push.
Mm-hmm.
And Detroit's pushing for that playoff spot as well. Does the Atlantic have any true rebuilders? Buffalo's pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Montreal is the only true rebuilder I can think of.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is a competitive division, but I don't know. I really want to know why. It's really bothering that part of my brain where I can't figure it out. But
I mean, if this was the only contract you were offered, then that's it.
Right, but for $5 million cap hit. I mean, this is as perplexing as. This is less perplexing than the
$5 million is a
Bertuzzi
discount for Tarasenko, right? Are you saying it's too much, or are you saying it's too little?
I just don't understand why. I never understood the 1 year but huge cap hit type deals. What is the point of that? The same with the Bertuzzi deal we were talking about in Toronto a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
What? Why?
Well, I mean, because he's worth $7-8 million.
Right, but what is he trying to get out of this? This is obviously
he's trying to get to a contender. And at that point, cap hit doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You can retain 50%.
Fair.
And it's not like you're going to get bitten for the retention because it's just the end of the year, right?
So do you think Tarasenko is going to kind of go on this short contract around the league type of duel, just to win a cup?
I think he's going to hope for a long-term deal next offseason because that's when the cap goes up, allegedly.
If he wants to wait a couple of years, he can sign in San Jose, maybe.
Yeah. He'd be old by then.
Yeah. Well, hopefully there's no 8-year contracts handed out in San Jose anytime soon. So
yeah, there really shouldn't be.
Yeah. I mean, that is what doomed the Sharks. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. But yeah, interesting deals from Tarasenko and interesting deal from Martin Jones signing in Toronto. Cap hell, I would say. So
I think with these last couple of signings, I think the offseason's really kind of settling down.
Yeah.
Not much left to do now. Karlsson was a big thing.
Yeah, I feel like everyone just kind of had their eyes on it.
Yeah.
It fizzled out and nobody expected anything. Then it just happened. And I think that's all, folks.
Yeah, I think Matt Dumba getting signed is probably the last thing.
To Arizona. I have no idea why the hell. I don't know why anyone in the right mind is trying to sign in Arizona right now.
I mean, if it's the only team offering, then
I guess.
Cap is tight, man, this year. Nobody has cap.
I guess, but would you rather play in Arizona or go overseas? Arizona might not even have a future.
No, you play in Arizona. You don't leave the NHL.
I mean,
you want GMs to remember you, you stay in the NHL.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's true.
Even though you're playing in whatever arena.
Yeah, the ASU arena. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, interesting signing, but yeah, I think that might be all the signings, right? That might be all the offseason stuff.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what team are you most excited to follow in the coming season?
Pittsburgh, definitely. I mean, I'll keep my eyes out on Pittsburgh, but honestly, I'm a little bit interested in Ottawa now. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I just want to see. I'm so perplexed by this signing. I just really want to see what's going to happen. And in a way, I'm somewhat interested in Toronto just because I think a lot of shit's going to go down this year.
Yeah, they got to get the Nylander extension.
They're not going to. He's getting traded. I think he's getting traded.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those four is getting traded, and I feel like Nylander's the easiest.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, let's see. I mean, I think I'm already looking forward to next offseason for Toronto because that's the whole
Matthews deal.
The Matthews deal, yeah. If they get it done, or is this going to turn into another Tavares situation? Who knows?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. The East is honestly looking a little bit more interesting this year to me.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I was about to say the same. Pittsburgh and Toronto seem like the most interesting storylines. Like out in the West, you're looking at Vegas is probably going to go for a repeat.
Dominance, yeah.
I talked about LA being exciting. Colorado is trying to get back. I think
they've had some injury stuff.
Yeah, I think those three teams plus Edmonton is kind of what you're looking at.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of action going on in the West, minus a couple teams.
Yeah, out of those four teams, like I'm sure Dallas fans will have something to say about it, but
yeah,
I don't really have.
At this point, I want Dallas to just do the damn thing.
Yeah.
If they don't win it, like it's just repeats of
Dallas is in I'll believe it when I see it territory.
Yeah,
right?
basically at this point, I was like, just win the cup. like
Anaheim and San Jose are going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Seattle somewhat might be in but they haven't done much yet.
True. Yeah, Seattle might. I feel like Seattle might just sneak up on everyone just because they're in such a not competitive division.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of room to just hit the gas, I guess.
Yeah.
Calgary's not going to be any good. So.
Yeah. But you're right. The more interesting storylines are out east.
Yeah.
It's Pittsburgh. It's what's Boston going to do without Bergeron.
Yeah.
What's New Jersey going to do with all the new firepower?
What are the Rangers going to do?
What are the Rangers going to do? Yeah. But.
Oh, and Chicago. I guess Connor Bedard,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, he might just terrorize the whole league, but
Bedard himself is a storyline. I don't expect Chicago to do anything.
Yes, yeah. I mean, let's be real. The only reason anyone cares about Chicago is because they drafted 98, but that was a given. So
97 versus 98.
Yeah. 99 comes out of the
comes out of retirement.
Comes out of retirement. He's like, I'm the best here.
By God, that's Gretzky's music. All right,
we're being stupid.
I think that's time we wrap it up.
The off season's doing things to us.
Thanks for listening, guys. This is Glass Seats. We're out every week. You can catch us on Spotify, Apple, and Google. We are also on YouTube at Spud Network Podcasts is the handle. So if you want to see our lovely faces, you can check us out there. That's all for this one. I guess we'll see you next time. Bye.
Peace.